So big breaking news coming in from the India versus West Indies series that's going to take place from July 22nd. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Jasprit Bumrah have all been rested for the ODI series. Shikhar Dhawan is going to captain the Indian team for the three-match ODI series that will begin from July 22nd at Port of Spain in Trinidad. Two matches in Port of Spain and one match at the Brian Lara Stadium in Tarouba, and that is where you'll see Shikhar Dhawan being the new captain. One has to understand that Shikhar Dhawan did captain the ODI team during the series against Sri Lanka. So here is the ODI team. Shikhar Dhawan will be the captain. Ravindra Jadeja will be the vice captain. Another big development, Ravindra Jadeja. Rituraj Gaikwad will be there. Shubman Gill, Deepak Hooda, Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer still retains his place, Shreyas Iyer, Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson, Shardul Thakur, Yajuvendra Chahal, Akshar Patel, Avesh Khan, Prasidh Krishna, Mohammad Siraj and Arshdeep Singh. So, there is going to be no Rishabh Pant even. And there is also no Jasprit Bumrah. So, the reports that were floating around that the Indian cricket team would rest some senior players heading into the West Indies series is true. No Rohit, no Virat, no Jasprit Bumrah and no Rishabh Pant. These four players are not going to be there for the West Indies ODI series. It makes sense for the Indian team to rather rest the players for the ODI series because heading into the T20 World Cup, there will be impetus on T20s to be there. So the 5-match T20I series will be played after the ODI series. 22nd onwards, the 3-match ODI series will take place, all in Trinidad. And so that is why this Indian team will now still be bereft of experience if one has to look at it. Munro dear can't get both main batsmen rested. The guy who gets dropped from T20 now is captain of this team and not Pant or Hardik. Well, Munro, you have to understand the ODI setup is totally different. When was the last time India played the ODI series, if you have to remember? Apart from this England tour that's going to happen now, prior to that, when did they play an ODI series? It's a significantly long gap. So one has to remember that the ODI series or ODIs at this point in time is not the priority. It is T20Is. We might see a full strength team for the T20I series, 5 matches. Hardik not in ODI, well, yes, even Hardik Pandya is not part of the ODI series, Tanmay. So Hardik Pandya is also not there in the ODI series. Kind of makes sense. You may want to see him in the T20Is. Again, if we have to see, there will be plenty of experimentation that is there in the ODI team. Because you'll play 6 ODIs and after that, after November, probably after November or December, you'll get to play some more ODIs because it will be the end of the World T20. So it makes sense to rotate the likes of Rohit, Virat, Jasprit, Rishabh, Hardik, perhaps keep them fresh for the upcoming series that will take place. So Shikhar Dhawan will be the captain of the ODI series in the West Indies. In the ODI series that is going to take place in England, it will be a different game altogether. Perhaps we'll see our full strength team. Remember, in the T20I series that's going to take place in England, you're going to see the first match will not have their regulars. Rohit Sharma will be back. But for the remaining 2 T20Is, you will see all the experienced guys there. So, Vinay is saying, can VVS section be the head coach? You want separate coaches for both white ball and separate captains. It is not going to happen. So, Vikas Jaiswal is saying, please repeat the squad again. Well, here is the squad again. It is going to be led by Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan will be the captain of the ODI team for the West Indies series starting on July 22nd. Ravindra Jadeja will be your vice captain. Rituraj Gaikwad, Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill might basically open with Rituraj. Deepak Hooda, Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer, Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson. Basically 2 wicket keepers. It will be a toss-up between Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson. Shardul Thakur, Yajuvendra Chahal, Akshar Patel, Avesh Khan, Prasidh Krishna, Mohammad Siraj, Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep is getting a big chance, by the way, in the ODI series. And no Kuldeep Yadav still. Maybe Kuldeep is injured. So, Shami, Bumrah, Pant, Rohit, Hardik, Virat. 6 of your seniors are not getting a chance. Yes, big opportunity for Arshdeep Singh though. He did well in the T20 warm-ups in the England series. Maybe it might happen. Why so much as Sahil Kulkarni is saying, Sanil, let's make it very practical. Now after the England series, 3 T20Is and 3 ODIs, you're going to play 5 T20Is plus the Asia Cup, plus Australia, plus Sri Lanka. 15 T20Is is a significant period of time. So in the ODI team, perhaps you may not want to give too much of attention to, considering you're only going to play the T20 World Cup and the ODI World Cup is next year. So yeah, Kohli after the test series, well, again, Kohli is a different ball game altogether. Whether you would want Virat Kohli to play in all the matches, it remains to be seen. He's not in good form, agreed. More match exposure perhaps might prolong it. So it is going to be a tricky situation when it comes to Virat Kohli. Finance tips, if Kuldeep Yadav career switch, Chandramohan, I think Kuldeep is injured. That is why he's not gotten a chance, because he did well in the series against South Africa. And also in the IPL, he did do significantly well. But I think Kuldeep Yadav is injured. That's why he's not been picked. And the injury is pretty severe for him. We all know that KL Rahul will not be there for 2 months because he's recovering from sports hernia. So KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma anyway was not going to captain the ODI series. We all knew that. There were reports earlier that senior players would get rested, so that is there. How many ODI and T20s will be held? Chandramohan, if you're talking about the West Indies series, 3 ODIs and 5 T20Is. The ODIs will be played first, the T20Is will be played later. If you're talking about T20Is, after the end of the Edgbaston test, 3 ODIs, 3 T20Is against England, 5 against the West Indies, T20Is, Asia Cup, 5 T20Is potentially. Then against Australia and Sri Lanka, you may have a bilateral series of 3 and 2 matches. So that is the situation when it comes to. So breaking news for people coming in and joining us now. Shikhar Dhawan will be the captain of the India ODI team. Ravindra Jadeja will be the vice captain. Arshdeep Singh has gotten a chance in the ODI setup. And Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan are your 2 keepers. It's going to be a toss-up between Ishan and Sanju. Where will Ishan Kishan bat if he's selected? Depends. Maybe he may be number 3 or number 4. Perhaps Shubman Gill will open with Rituraj Gaikwad. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this breaking news update from the BCCI. They just announced the squad for the ODI series against the West Indies. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Press the bell icon, and we are also there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, folks. Thank you.